The 23-byte death of the EOA. A 23-byte string of bytecode just turned 200 million legacy Ethereum accounts into fully programmable smart contracts. This is the structural reality of the Pectra upgrade and its implementation of EIP-7702. For over a decade, Ethereum was bifurcated between user-owned private keys and developer-deployed code, a design that forced every wallet holder to choose between security and utility. That wall just came down. By adding a simple delegation marker to the account's code field, the protocol has retroactively upgraded the entire network without requiring a single user to migrate to a new address. This is not just a UI update. It is a fundamental re-engineering of the Ethereum account model that changes how every transaction on this network is constructed and settled. The mechanics of the SetCode transaction. Technically, this shift centers on a new transaction format known as Type 4. Instead of a standard transfer, your wallet now broadcasts an authorization list. This list contains a signature pointing your account toward an existing smart contract address. Under the hood, the Ethereum virtual machine writes a delegation designator using the prefix 0xEF0100. When anyone calls your address, the EVM sees that prefix and instantly executes the code at the target address instead of just checking a signature. It uses delegate call semantics, meaning the code runs in your account's context, using your funds and your storage. This design is highly efficient because it avoids the gas-heavy deployment costs of traditional smart wallets while maintaining the same address identity. But the structural consequence is that your private key is no longer the sole gatekeeper of your account's logic. It is now a remote control for a piece of code. On-chain effects, batching, and sponsorship. The immediate impact on the chain has been a massive collapse in transaction counts for complex DeFi maneuvers. Because EIP-7702 allows for atomic batching, a user can now approve an ERC20 token, execute a swap, and deposit into a vault with a single signature. This removes the risk of a user approving a spending limit and then failing the subsequent swap, which previously left billions in stale permissions floating around the network. We are also seeing a surge in paymaster usage. Apps are now sponsoring gas fees for legacy wallets directly, using the delegation logic to subtract the cost in USDC, or even skip the fee entirely for the user. This turns gas management into a back-end abstraction rather than a user hurdle. But it also creates a new layer of dependency on the paymaster infrastructure provided by third-party protocols. The inherent security trade-off, engineering flexibility always costs security surface area. The skepticism around EIP-7702 stems from the fact that signing an authorization is effectively installing software on your account. If you delegate to a malicious contract, the attacker can drain your assets or permanently lock your identity in a single signature. Unlike a one-time transaction, a 7702 delegation can persist across multiple blocks. We have already observed phishing attacks where users intended to sign a simple swap but unknowingly authorized a permanent delegation to a drainer. Furthermore, the magic byte 0x05 used for these signatures bypasses existing protection schemes designed for older transaction types. We are trading the predictable but limited security of the ECDSA curve for the highly complex and often opaque security of smart contract logic. In this new world, an audit report is more valuable than a hardware wallet. The signal under the noise. The real takeaway is that Ethereum has officially transitioned from a key management identity to a code delegation identity. By retrofitting the legacy base with EIP-7702, the protocol has signaled that the externally owned account is a dead-end architecture. The mechanism we have explored, from the 23-byte SetCode prefix to the rise of paymasters, indicates a future where user interaction is entirely mediated by smart contract middleware. This solves the user experience friction that has capped Ethereum's growth for a decade, but it centralizes trust in a handful of vetted smart contract libraries. Moving forward, the technical moat for wallets is no longer key storage, but the quality of their delegation scripts. Watch the percentage of Type 4 transactions on-chain. If it crosses the 50% threshold by the end of 2026, the legacy EOA will be a relic. The next major technical milestone to monitor is the Glamsterdam upgrade, which aims to further harden this delegation layer for a stateless execution environment. Subscribe for more